Welcome YouTubers, one and all, this is Moj30 here, and I'm going to be teaching you how to be able to draw an apple and shade it. So this is going to be turned in Drawing 101. First, I want you to use a nice white piece of paper. I don't want you using any of that lined paper. You can use it if you want, but I prefer to use white clean slate, as you can see. Nice and clean. Second off, I want you to use a long pencil, not any of the short pencils or anything, but a nice long pencil, preferably new. I use Ticonderoga just because that's how I use. Make sure it's nice and long and everything, very nicely sharpened, and also has a nice eraser in case if you make any mistakes. Okay, so here we go. First, I want you to draw any ordinary circle. Doesn't matter on if it's neat or not, because we can fix that later. So as you can see, it's nice and even there. Then right up here, so you can see like about right here, I'm going to draw a line because that's where going to be the stem is, and the little dimple on the top of the apples. Okay, now I want to kind of imitate that little dimple over there, but put it on the top, as you can see, and then move all the way down, kind of make it kind of like a heart, as if you're making a really fat heart, and go like that. Oh, by the way, I want you to draw kind of lightly, not too lightly, but light enough so then it doesn't really show up when you erase as much. You can remember you can always darken it later as we finish. Do the same on the other side, but stop right about here because we're gonna have to need to make the end. So like that. I'm gonna make this little stand that keeps it up together. So kind of make it almost as if it's like a cleft chin or something. Remember, you can always fix that later, so don't worry about any of that. Now I want you to erase these lines so then they don't get confusing. So erase the original circle that you made because it's not really necessary anymore. Okay. Now, as you can see how it's a little bit more of an apple shape. Now, just get rid of like all these harsh lines and try and smooth them out a little bit. Try and give it kind of a 3D effect, but not actually with shades anymore yet. This little dimple here. So that's the improved part that I made. Get rid of all these eraser shavings because that'll get in the way. Go ahead and finish fixing up your apple here. Oops, I made a mistake. So you can see, make a mistake, you can easily erase it. It's not going to hurt it one bit. Erase is a drawer's best friend aside from paper and drawing utensils. So you see, it's more of an apple shape now. Now, you can see that this is a little low. You can keep it there, or you can go ahead and make it a little higher. I'm going to make it higher just because I think that'll help fix it a little bit. So as you can see that. Now, I want you to make a stem. Make it about in the middle of this, your little dimple here. That right now looks kind of like a smiley line. So go ahead and make it right just above your thing here, the top of your apple. So you have something that looks like that. So you can see the apple starting to come in now. Go ahead and erase that little tiny line. It's okay if you erase a little bit of your stem because you can just go back over it and draw it in, as you can see. Now, this is optional, but if you want, you can also put a leaf that's kind of going off the edge. So, first you want to make a little, very thin stem to make it for the leaf, and then kind of make it as if you're drawing like an eye or something, but have it curve upwards. So, you would be going like that instead of like that. And if you want, you can put a little bit of a tail on the end, as you can see, if it goes up like this. Then do the same thing on the other side, except for you don't have to make a tail if you don't want to. As you can see, it kind of does that. And then follow the top line to make the crease in the leaf, as you can see. Go ahead and erase lines on the inside that finish this apple, so then it's kind of on the outside of it. And now you have the basic part of the apple. Now, you can go ahead and do some of the shading. Imagine that the light is shining from right here, and it's kind of forward. So this is kind of like out here shining on, because that'll help you with shading. So right here will be kind of like where like the main light is hitting. So kind of very lightly draw that in. And then draw a little bit of like just kind of like little bubble lines right where you would think that the apple would have like the most creases. Don't really have to worry about this side very much because that's where no light is. But it's good to at least outline it there so you can kind of get an idea of the more round three-dimensional shape. So now that's done. I'll take this side right here and start shading it about, I want to say about a millimeter in. Not too much and not too dark either. So go ahead and shade it in. Follow it right along this edge. As you can see. Then you take a finger, or you can take a smudger, because there are pens that are used for smudgers, but I like to use my finger. I think it's a lot better. And go ahead and rub it in. Kind of go out towards this way a little bit, but not too much, because you don't want to interfere any of this. So go ahead and rub that in a little bit. And if you think it's too dark, you can just kind of blot it with the eraser, because it'll lighten it up a little bit, as you see. And then I can just rub it in, and it's a little bit lighter than it was before. Go ahead and do that over where the dimple is too. You can just carry it off, because it'll carry on with it. And then get the little bottom right here, as you can see, and there's a little bit more of a three-dimensional shape. Now, being that you already have smudge on here and on your finger, as you can see, you don't have to worry about darkening any of that. Just kind of carry it over, not from all the way over here, but kind of like in here, because that's a little bit lighter, and it'll get lighter. And you can use your lines that you made earlier too, because that'll help in, and yet you'll still be able to see them, so you can be able to do that. So as you can see, that's all done. So now it's a nice perfectly shaded apple, or not shaded, but shaded apple. Now where you made the little lines, take your eraser and very lightly erase it where it was. Let's go ahead and erase all that. Right there. And then you have your lighting. Very, very lightly put your finger over it, just so then it's not so harsh and it's a little bit softer, as you can see. Kind of connect this whole part over here. You don't really have to connect that. You can if you want to. And it'll still work out just fine, as you can see. Very lightly go over it. And this can take multiple times to do it in order to get it the way you want it to look. See? And there we go. You can also darken this part a little bit more, in order to get it fulfilled to how you want. And don't forget, on this edge, you still want a little bit of shading right along the edge, just so then it's able to show as if it was turning around. So just kind of darken the line itself, and then very lightly. Don't worry about smudging outside of the line. If anything, that'll give it a little bit more definition. So don't worry about smudges out here or anything. It's not going to bother it one bit. Now, go ahead and darken your outer lines a little bit, not too much, because you don't want it to look 2D. So just a little bit. Just give it a little bit of definition, as you can see. And then you can go ahead and working on your leaf. Pretty much we want to do the same thing. Go ahead and shade all of it, all even. And then right underneath your middle crease, make a very, very light line to follow it, so then you can see it, so it kind of bounced off. And again, right below the edge here. So then it does that. You can see that. Then go ahead and make these lines lighter, or darker, sorry. Fix this up a little bit. So you can see. And voila, you have your apple.